Right, my little madam is there. She's like, I was here first, mummy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on your now moment. Hopefully you can see me. That was a little bit of a technical trying to get things to work this morning, but hopefully we're back with our weekly energy circles. We're going to be doing a little bit of Qigong, and to end with, we will be focusing on setting boundaries and creating sacred space and time for ourselves. But to start with, just in a standing Wuji pose, which is literally hip width apart, nice, I've got skirt on now, so nice bent, relaxed legs so that you are nice balanced with the weight going through your legs, keeping your hips nice and relaxed and your shoulders back so they're not forward and you're not leaning forward or you're not leaning back or to either side. Just bring yourself into this pose with your breath, bringing your mind on your breath, lifting your arms up and raising them above your head as you're breathing in to the top, and then releasing them and letting them come down to the sides. So as you're allowing your hands to fall down, I want you to also visualize when you're lifting your arms up that you're breathing in new chi and then breathing down, and this time bringing the hands down in front of the face as you exhaling out. Sometimes we think of releasing and letting go and detoxing, but I like to think of it as when we breathe in, we're breathing in the oxygen that the trees create. When we breathe out, we're actually giving back to the earth, because our carbon monoxide, or what we exhale, is actually what the trees breathe in. We work together, so that way you're not thinking of it as toxic so much, but letting go and the sort of symbiotic relationship that you have and that we have with this beautiful planet that is Gaia. Sorry, I have my daughter here who's refusing to leave the room. off keeping an eye on her, and she's off today, so please excuse my glances at my little girl over there. You come and do it with me?
No.
Right. And then try and be quiet there, baby. Okay, so keeping that flow of the breath. Qigong is the art of effortless power, and we work with gentle movements and stretching of the body that over time is strengthening, and then you'll find that when you do other exercises you should feel easier, a bit like yoga. Rolling the shoulders back gently, and then bringing the hands together. We're just gonna rotate the wrists, so we are stretching all those little muscles within the wrists. We have the hands are like portals, and then as you do this, we're then gonna do the same with our shoulders. So bringing your elbows up and round, so use your elbow to do the direction on one side, and then you do the same on the other side. So this, we start to gently stretch out the sides. This is called the rooster. And you're gently leaning into this, to the sides. I'm just gonna I just thought if anyone comes, I won't be able to let them into the room. Could you go and check to see if there's anyone that needs admitting into the room? Grace, to the computer, please. So then start to move the elbows coming forward. So sorry, I am distracted with my little madam. She's being a little monkey. And then shake it out. And continue to shake. Literally. So you're bouncing. You want to shake off and shake the legs. When we shake, we reset the automatic, our nervous system. So I think it's to have a little dance, a little shimmy. If you do this for 3 minutes, you tune into resetting your nervous system. You often see animals doing this. Sometimes when they've had fear, they shake. They do this to reset their nervous system. Hello, Boris, joining us. Oh, no. Breathing in, breathing out. So I'm going to create some sounds. You can try and join in if you want. Obviously, if you're on mute, join in at home when you're watching this on the replay. But we're going to go through, and I'm going to, rather than doing the Qigong sounds, I'm bringing in the sounds I've been working, which are from the 4 keys from Atlantis and from the sounds that my guides have given me. So when we pulse the energy and sound, it's sort of like we make we'll start actually with the H-A-A-A sound, which is a sound in Qigong for the heart. And also in the Atlantean keys is to do with the crown. But ha, if you want to just go ha, ha, as well with the breath, but whatever feels comfortable for you. Don't worry about feeling silly. So you're literally breathing out as well. And I will post the heart sound. And if you're used to listening to sound frequency and the frequency of the heart, it's very similar to that which you would hear in hertz. I'm switching now to H-E, he. And not meow. And then shaking. I think we'll leave it at that for the moment. I think it's knowing for your time as we started late today, but then just bringing the hands next to the sides, feeling you feel looser. Hopefully that's the idea, that you should feel loose and like you've moved or shifted some energy. But we're going to continue to move the body. So gently swaying from side to side. So you then gently, you're knocking the back here to start with, just either side, and at the same time twisting. So keeping your hips in that same position as we had before, and still, and just moving the upper. And we're knocking. Also gently hip rotating the spine, going all the way up. So whilst you're doing this, imagine that you've got a light coming down from above, going all the way down your spine, seeing those gentle spinal rotations, and going up from the root and up to your head. I like to envision the spinal and the image of DNA just going up the spine, and the energy shifting, twirling, going up the spine nicely, stretching out all those little vertebrae. But obviously you need to keep and listen to your body. If there's any tweaks, any pains, you listen to your body. And then start to lift the hand that's come at the forward, so still keep knocking at the back, but the front hand knock and just on here, just gently but quite firmly. Obviously don't be hurting yourself, but we're knocking on the lung meridian and knocking on our Ming Mang, door of life, and then continue just to stop with the twists and just continue with the knocking. You can do both hands, you can just do one. 2 hands on one side, whatever you feel comfortable. There's got lots and lots of ways to do the same thing. Gradually bringing it over to the thymus. Primate knocking. Donna Reed likes to call this feeling of like primates and monkeys. What you're doing is you're tapping the thymus, which builds up the T cells. Our high heart. We'll talk about it in spirituality. And again, over onto the lung meridians. But doing this in the morning, this is one that's an essential for me, especially as I'm clearing out my chest and recovering from, like, whenever you've had a cold, it's really good. But with Qigong, it's prevention. So you want to be doing this daily to keep those T cells high so that you don't get sick. But when you do get sick, again, vital energies that we're drawing on. And then coming down to the side, rub your hands together, create some friction. As I was speaking about this morning, for those of you that were with me, we were talking about the energy. You feel that momentum, you feel that friction, that heat that we're creating. You want to bring that round. Just feel the tingling where you've created momentum and energy of momentum. We have like little tingling. We've woken up the hands, which are, as I said, portals. Each of your fingers have different meridians in them, and you can feel the tingling. Rubbing again, bring them round and put them on what we call your Ming Mang, so your back. Yeah, this is really nice to do if you have period pains, just to feel the heat of your hands. Now I want you to just rub gently, start to knead. So we say the Ming Mang is a life gate. I say I am YouTube. Remind my daughter that I'm live on YouTube. She keeps children. The joys of having children at home. Rubbing. And then if you stand, I'm going to show you from my back. I'll turn around in a second. If you just want to put your hands in what I call the Wonder Woman pose, and then gently first start to rotate the hips, hip rotations, and as you're forward, press forward on your back. As you move forward, move backwards, then lift your thumb and change the position. So for every rotation, you should be gently pressing with your thumbs. First one direction, it doesn't matter which direction, and then changing. Little lower back massage. Someone was telling me that they were having issues with their lower back, so this is good for that. And then we're going to do the same position, but this time we're just moving forward and back. So you do the same thing with your fingers and lift off, but this time coming forward, so you feel that in the legs behind the backs of the knees. You should feel a gentle stretch. If you feel any pain for any reason, then obviously stop, but a gentle stretch is different. And again, lifting the fingers off, and now letting the fingers go, but keep that movement. And this time coming down, and just gently, I want you to sort of just hang. If you want to put your hands here on the knees, and just lift my leg up so you can see. And then as you're leaning over, rub behind your knee. So up and down the backs of the legs, quite vigorously, behind the backs of the knees, and down the calves. Then bringing your fingers round to your little toe, flick off each of your toes, and then bringing your fingertips around the toes, around the ankles, up the inside of the legs. If you don't want to touch, you can just have it above, but up over the pubic bone into a nice triangle, bringing the attention back to the breath. Then over the hips, rubbing the back. This time we're going to slap down the side, slapping down. And again, up the way we came, on the inside of the thighs, knocking on the hips, slapping down. And then just as you bend your knees, slap this point here, and then slap the knees. And slap, knock, and slap, knock, slap, knock, slap, knock. This is really good for purging. Breath, don't forget to breathe. And then bringing the hands down in front. Feeling where your body needs any more stretching, or if it needs any more shifting. We're going to finish with the Qigong before we go into our creative visualization for today with a little yin massage, because we didn't do this morning. So just bringing the hands up from the thighs, bringing them round the back, and then we trace like we just did. So we trace down the back, go down the buttocks, around to the side of the legs, following and tracing down with the hands around the toes, up the inside of the legs. And as you come up, drawing the backs of the hands together, and then the hands together, you trace each hand to the opposite elbow. So you're holding the elbow, then go up to the shoulders, and then back to the elbow, hands together, twisting the hands in like a lotus, and then do the same as what we just did. So elbows, shoulders, but this time go up over the head, now so you can see me, and around, bringing your hands so they come round behind your neck, underneath, gently petting like you would under the cat's chin, under the neck, thinking gently backs of the hands together, coming down over the heart, and then we repeat that. So gentle rub of the kidneys, going down the sides of the legs. This is a yin massage, working with more yin energy, up the inside of the legs, backs of the hands together, then hands together, elbows, shoulders, elbows, twist in a beautiful little lotus, elbows, shoulders, behind the head, round the neck. Whilst you're there, if you want, give it a nice little massage here, and then petting like a cat, backs of the hands together, coming down to do that one more time. Hopefully you can hear me over the sound of my daughter. Down the sides, around and up. And round the back. And this time, after petting, backs of the hands together, bringing them down over your stomach in a Ouija pose. So bring the feet together, standing in what we call bamboo in the wind. And then gently circle the hands one direction and the opposite direction. Bringing them down into a triangle, connecting with the earth, with our minds. Whilst we're here, we will lead into our creative visualization and stillness. So if you have somewhere you can sit comfortably, or you can stay in a standing Ouija pose in bamboo in the wind, connecting with your body while I guide you through. Breathing in, breathing out. Focus the mind down, letting the hands down to the side now. Think about the earth itself. If you want, bring to mind somewhere where you love, somewhere where you love to be. As we take a seated position, working with sacred space. Now, there are many forms of sacred space, and I did a little IGTV video talking about this week that you can view, where I talk about that in more depth. But cultivating sacred space within us, connecting to the sacred space within us, allows us to create the space and the time for us to deal with our emotions, to deal with our thoughts, our mind, and the thinking that I'm just running anxiety that we referred to this morning, those thought patterns that we're working today. If you're part of our challenge, you may be have been questioning and dialoguing on this. But breathing in and breathing out, we connect with the breath, with this, what in spirite it is in Latin, breathing in the spirit, as the ancients would refer to it as. Breathing in, connecting to the element of air. You might think of the lungs, and connecting with our senses, creating a sacred space within the context of the body, and the movement and the gentle movements of the body is what I like to cultivate. But it's opening up that sense of closing the eyes and the outward and going and reflecting within. And by doing this and doing this daily, and actually even without any sounds, without following a meditation, you can do this wherever you are in your now moment. Just tuning gently into your breath. Listen to the sound of my voice, the sounds around you. You don't necessarily have to be somewhere quiet. You can tune into the sounds and the white noise around you, the washing machine, the train, if you're on the train, on the way to your busy job, whatever it is you do. But just as an example. And exhaling. I always think that the sound of our breathing in and out reminds me of the shore and a beach and the gentle waves lapping, that ebb and flow of the receiving and giving. We're going to visualize and imagine that we are wherever we feel safe, creating that. You could maybe have a space that you have in your room that you might like to do your meditation, to cultivate that sacred space. But you can close your eyes at any time and be in your own sacred space within your mind and your imagination, and within the quiet, contemplative space of your heart, opening, connecting with the high heart. The space within, the pause within the breath. So on your next breath, we're moving to a box breath, breathing in, hold, and before you release and exhale, that pause just before. So breathing in, that little pause, space between the space. Exhale. So regardless of what is happening in the busy life, in the busy world, even in the room that you're in, you are still able to tune in to the breath and that space that's there, that pause. That is you observing, you taking control, you creating the intention when you're in that little pause and release. Now I'm going to do a little thing for setting boundaries, so a little visualization. So keep cultivating that space, and if you want to tune me out too and allow yourself to surrender to your own mind with the visions that may flow, with images that may flow, just allow your body, your mind, if it's just thoughts just that you don't want to hold on to, then just let go. Surrender to the process of letting go, of that pause and your body. So you're still anchored in your body, but you're flowing with your mind, flowing with your breath. Imagine, just as we create a bubble, we did this morning in the morning, imagine there's a bubble around you. If you want to actually do this, then fine, you can rub your hands together and just hold a little chi ball that we would work with in Qigong. Imagine that ball, though, energetically, is getting bigger and bigger around you. Imagine that you're weaving it, rolling the hands, rolling, and I'm going to create one for you. So imagine you're literally weaving around you a bubble that is already there, your field, the rainbow that's around you. It's like a little bubble of love, of your energy, your field. Tuning out any sounds. Or tuning in to the sounds. But when I say weaving, it has space. Imagine you're weaving it with light, with your own light from your chi ball. Imagine that chi ball is like a yarn ball, for example, and you're literally threading through, weaving around you, weaving a lattice of light that's like lace, that allows what you need to come through and into you and to your heart. But when you feel you need to contract that ball into your own space, that it gives you space around you. Remember the sacred space in the pause of your breath every time you are there, just by taking a breath. Whenever you need it, it's with that breath, reminded of this moment, and you come back to this space within you. Now, everyone has this field around them, but sometimes others are not aware of it, and that we have attachments to people, good attachments, bad attachments. So we've got all of these threads that we allow, and that some are good, some are bad. But when we're setting a boundary, we're creating space around us for us to work intentionally with our own healing. We want to cut this, but sending love to any situations, any people that we're maybe having issues with. We want this to be we don't want to be enabling anyone, so we want to be for the highest good. So as a healer, I'm sure lots of you are used to doing this anyway. You create your bubble around you, which we've just done, but you will allow those threads, send love, cut them, but send love to the situation, love for it to be for the highest good of all. Because sometimes we have attachments and threads with people, and our boundaries are like we're giving too much energy away and we're not filling up our own cup. So we want to send love out, but we want to cut the cord with love and the intention for any that we may be enabling, because sometimes those people are used to having those cords to you and they're not able to then do their own healing. And when you are to heal, you need to be able to do this within your own space. So a healer will allow you to open to this space, and you are the one that heals always. Even when someone's sending you Reiki, it's your ability, that's why I always ask permission for you to receive, and your connection to your higher self and your guidance to open up to receiving that, and the willingness to want to shift and cut these patterns. But we don't want people to just ping like an elastic band. So we send love down for any cords that we've cut. We're placing a boundary with our intention today that you can still give, but first you must connect not just to your own energy, but to the central sun energy, the abundance that is in our universe that comes from, I think I've heard it referred to as the central suns. Allow that to flow. The creator energy that creates universes, that creates the cosmos, that created the earth itself over billions and millions and billions of years, that the cells that birthed us into our beings, that from the cellular microscopic cells that were on our planet, the creator force, the life force, the chi, rather than our space. Remembering the bubble that's around you. If you want to move your hands physically and feel your bubble, it's there. You may not be able to see it, but you should be able to feel it in your heart, feel it. And as we do in the morning, fill it up with what you need daily, with your intention, be it love, be it clarity, and cultivating that. Be it healing, and be it time just to open and have that time for you. So the boundary is there. It's in place. You're cloaking yourself, wrapping yourself with this. And it's there always. So I want you to then put your hands, start to become aware. Rather than a deep meditation, we're still present. We're still here in the body as well as the mind and the spirit. If you've gone deep, if you've gone off, that's fine. Now's the time to come back. Come back by wiggling the toes, connecting with the earth chakra. Maybe bring yourself to standing if you're not standing, and just lifting up. You can do this with your eyes shut, but you need your balance, so you might want to separate hip width apart. Just lifting it up on the toes, babbling brook. If you feel unsteady, then obviously just keep your feet firmly on the floor. And moving the hands, your fingers, waking up to this now moment, but still with our bubble, still with our boundary in place. We've woven that, it's there. Gently roll around the neck. Come back to this moment. Moving the shoulders, moving your legs from side to side, gently rocking. Maybe lifting and gently stepping. I want you to imagine still that you're stepping in your daily life, but that boundary is in place as you are in movement, in motion. then come to a stop. Big deep breath in, taking everything that we've said with us whenever we need it, to be reminded that it's there, it's in place. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Just slowly bringing yourself back. Let's take you away from the noise of my daughter. Come to a conclusion. If you need to go outside barefoot, if you can, depends where you are in the world of how cold it is outside, and just placing your feet, if you've got some grass, or you can just visualize doing this, depending on how. I didn't take us very deep, quite a light meditation. Just feel the earth beneath you, cool earth, to bring yourself back and to ground yourself further with any energy work, always eating and drinking lots of water. My love and my blessings wherever you are in your now moment. Thank you for joining me. We'll have that on later. For those that are viewing in your now moment, you're still with us because it's created as a container for you. Remember, anytime you need your boundaries in place, you can weave them. If it's not me, it's you. We are the powerful ones within each and every one of us. A wonderful day wherever you are.